see if I can put that in there. Okay, see if my camera will focus. All right, we're ready. So welcome back to another Facebook Live yoga class. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I hope you're having a really nice Monday. The sun is shining, so much better than last week. And thank you in advance for joining me today. We've got quite a fun class planned, always fun. So we're going to be working our way up to shoulder stand today, which in yoga is Salamba Sarvangasana. And we're also going to have a look at a posture called plow pose, halasana, and Karnapidasana, which I think is ear pressure pose. So all these postures sound a lot fancier when you use their Sanskrit names. Usually they have really basic translations like ear pressure pose or plow. So a little bit fancier using the Sanskrit, but that's what we're going to work on today. And this is a sequence, the shoulder stand sequence comes right at the end of the Ashtanga sequence as well, so it's actually part of the cool down, which is always a little bit funny, especially if you're quite new to yoga, because sometimes shoulder stand feels nothing like a warm down. It can be really tricky. It's a posture that people I think struggle with quite a bit, so it's just good to break it down. Now with shoulder stand, there's a lot going on. So one, it's an inversion. So in yoga, anything where your head is below your heart is an inversion. So in that sense, downward dog is an inversion. Any forward fold is an inversion, and shoulder stand is an inversion because you're lifting the body up, your heart is here, your head is here. So we're gonna actually work with a few inversions today, and by that I mean forward folds and downward dog and things like that get us used to having our head down down below. And another couple of things, so shoulder stand, lower back. Number one thing that's probably going to stop you from coming up into your shoulder stand. So if you have a tight lower back, you're going to find it almost impossible to roll the body up to get the legs straight, especially when we come to plow pose later. Massive ask of the lower back, trying to drop the feet over your head. And if your lower back is tight, it's going to be a struggle. So a lot of the postures we do today are going to focus on releasing that area. Also shoulders. So shoulder stand is a shoulder stand. It's not a neck stand. I have to be super clear with that. So if you go through all these old yoga textbooks, you see these crazy versions of shoulder stand where people literally have their neck on the floor and the rest of their body is vertically up. Now this is stupid. You can shoot me down. This is absolutely stupid. You don't want to copy that just because it's in a yoga book. Now shoulder stand is a shoulder stand. We need to be having this part of the body on the floor and no weight in the neck at all. Otherwise there's no point in doing it if you're going to hurt your neck. So we are going to be working a lot with the shoulders. So a lot of forward folds, a lot of shoulder openers, inversions where we drop the head, and loads of stuff for the lower back. And that is what we're going to be doing. So if you have a yoga strap, dressing gown cord, belt, resistance band, something like this, just keep it handy because we may use it later. We might not. You never know how these classes are going to go. Hello for everyone who's just joined. Shoulder stand class today. You may need a yoga strap. And then if you have any injuries that you're really concerned about, just check with your doctor before doing this. I'll give modifications throughout. And I think that's all I've got to say. So, shoulder stand, not a neck stand. If you take anything away from it, let it be that. Let's come onto our back, shall we? Get started before I start talking for the next 10 minutes. All right. So we're going to start on the back, and we're going to do a lot of twists for the lower back. So quite a gentle start to the class today. So if you want to lie flat on the floor, legs extended down the mat. Now if it's not comfortable to have the legs straight for whatever reason, you're going to want to bend the knees and have the soles of the feet on the floor instead. That's not a problem, just provides a bit of support for the lower back especially. And then just rest your hands either side of the body, palms up. You can have your eyes open or you can close your eyes, doesn't really matter. Just finding a lying position you can be still in for a few moments. Okay, so I always like to start the class like this. It's a good chance to set up our foundation. So bringing the attention into the room, really tricky to practice at home. There's a lot going on. The amount of dogs and cats I've seen get involved. Nothing wrong with that, but just maybe see if you can bring the attention to the breath, the sensations in the body, rather than what's going on around you. So partners, children, noise, activity. And this is a lesson in yoga in itself, removing distractions, seeing if we can build that focus. A good place to practice it is on the mat with the postures. So effectively just getting our head in the game here. And then just taking your attention to the breath. So we breathe in a particular way as well. We try and slow the breath down. So finding a steady and slow rhythm, but something that's maintainable. So something you can keep up throughout the whole practice. At no point do you ever want to feel like you're running out of breath. And sometimes in yoga people think it's like a who can hold their breath the longest competition. It's not. You're finding a natural steady rhythm. I want to pass out. So always being able to breathe is a good first step in yoga. Breathing through the nose, trying to make the inhales and exhales equal in length. And then if possible, also moving the breath up into the chest as well. So feeling the rib cage rise and fall. And if you have an especially tight upper back, even breathing deeply like this can start to stretch into that area. Starts to stretch into the muscles surrounding, in between the ribs, the whole chest. And then once you've found that rhythm, just take your attention around the body, check in, see how you feel. So any areas of tension you need to be mindful of, any injuries you need to be mindful of. So with this shoulder stand, areas to watch for, lower back, neck, and if you have any history of shoulder injury, again, you need to be mindful of your shoulders because we're going to see if we can tuck them right underneath the body. So you are your own best teacher. If I say something that you think no, don't do it. I don't know best. I'm going to guide you through this, but if something hurts, don't do it. Sharp or shooting pain, back off. Just be intelligent with how you practice, okay? You know yourself. All right, and then let's begin. Open your eyes and we'll take a cat stretch. So point your toes down the mat, take your arms overhead, lengthen. Just make yourself as long as you possibly can here. Really pointing the toes down the mat and lifting the arms. Already bringing that really lovely stretch into the shoulders, the lower back. You may even feel a little lift there, an arch underneath the lower back. That's okay, that's perfect. And then really pointing the toes to feel that stretch in the top of the feet. Now we point our toes in shoulder stand as well, so good to get that in here, starting to work the body. And then exhale, just hug your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. So we're holding onto the knees or the shins, we're making circles with the lower body. The back of the head stays on the floor. Rocking out any tension in the lower back especially. All these beginning postures we're going to do, all these lying twists are for your lower back. I don't know about you, but my back has been really tight recently. I think that's because I sit down for like 20 hours of the day. Apart from coming on here and teaching, I'm sitting down. So your lower back may feel a bit sensitive. And these twists that we're going to do now, you should be doing them every day. Bit of homework. Every day in the morning do these twists. Very good for you. All right, and then take both feet to the floor. So we'll start with the gentlest twist we do. So take your arms wide, palms down. So the arms are in a T position. Your feet and your knees are together, and then gently draw your heels in towards your bum. Going to keep the feet on the floor first time round. Take a big inhale through your nose. And then as you exhale, very lazily, let the legs drop over towards the right. So we're not forcing the knees down, they're just dropping as far as they want to go. Don't have to touch the floor. The knees also don't have to stay together if they want to fall apart, so we're not squeezing the knees together once they've dropped. And then when you're comfortably in your twist, you're going to turn your head and look over the left shoulder. So working into the neck here. You don't tend to sort of pick up on it, but we are bringing a little stretch into the right side of the neck and then holding it here. The gentlest lying twist we can do. The only thing you want to be mindful of is that left shoulder stays down. So if the left shoulder picks up off the floor, it means you've fallen over to the right too far, and you're going to lose that really nice isolated stretch in the lower back. And you may also feel this top left leg, so around that hip area. So not engaging any muscles, the breath is steady. Couple of other places you may feel this oblique, so that side body, may feel it in your groin. I always tend to get this in my groin, I don't know why. A few more moments here. And then inhale, bring the legs back to centre, and then on the exhale, very lazily let them fall over towards the left. Just dropping as far as they want to drop. Not very far for me because my legs hit a radiator. But just as far as your legs want to drop over towards the left, and then when you're in that position, you're going to turn your head and look over the right shoulder. Again, bringing a little stretch into the left side of the neck, keeping that right shoulder down. So if you're having problems keeping the right shoulder down, you either need to bring your legs a little bit closer up towards the ceiling, or you can make that right arm a little bit stronger. So press the palm down into the floor and just a little bit stronger in the right arm. Nothing too crazy, this is a passive posture. Keeping the breath steady, noticing where you feel it, lower back, maybe right hip. Okay, and then inhale back to centre, lovely. So if you're on your limit there, you're going to stay there. If you want a deeper twist, you're going to pick your feet up off the floor a few inches. So we still have the legs together at this point. Feet off the floor, big inhale, same thing. As you exhale, let the knees fall over towards the right. Gently turn your head to look over the left shoulder. If you pick the feet up off the floor, it's going to be a little bit challenging, a little bit trickier to keep the left shoulder down, but just do your best, see if you can ground it, and then totally relax. So no effort anywhere. Not squeezing the legs, not engaging the quads. Breath is steady, so still inhales and exhales equal in length. Okay, and then inhale back to centre, and then as you exhale, leisurely let your legs fall over towards the left, turning and looking over the right shoulder down. This is like a tree. Whenever I start a class with like 15 minutes of twists, it's like the only time I make it gentle. So we're just going to enjoy this now. And these postures are great. I know they're not active, but they are really good for your back. Definitely should incorporate them if you don't. All right, and then inhale back to center. Lovely. Both feet to the floor. Take your legs down the mat, point the toes, arms overhead, another cat stretch. Pointing the toes, lifting the arms, feeling that stretch, fingertips all the way down to the feet. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest again, rocking from side to side. Again, back of the head on the floor, and then just squeezing the thighs in towards the tummy as you roll. And then bring both feet to the mat. All right, last little twist. This time we are going to extend the left leg down the mat. Left toes gently work back, and then see if you can press the left calf into the floor. If your groin is tight, that left calf is going to want to lift up. Not a problem, but just see over time if we can ground it. From here, take hold of your right shin with both hands. Inhale and exhale, very simply, just draw the right thigh back towards the tummy. Knee to chest pose. I told you, these English translations aren't as fun. Very logical, very literal. So we are drawing the right knee in towards the chest. We're drawing the right thigh in towards the stomach, eventually looking to close the gap between the leg and the belly. So we're stretching into the right quad, right hip flexor. Also, big old groin stretch. You may feel this inside of left thigh, inside of right thigh. The chest, though, is broad and the shoulders are relaxed. So the upper body is very relaxed. Constant but gentle pressure to ease the right thigh back. And then just holding it here for a few more breaths. So if this posture hurts your knee, and you know, for some people it may, instead of taking the right shin, what you would do is take the back of the right thigh instead. So it would just release some of the pressure out of the knee area, and you'd still be stretching into all the same areas. So that's an option. Holding it here. Anything hurts my knees. I have a lot of options to protect knees. Alright, and then we're going to take this into a twist. So listen carefully. From here, we're going to let the left leg relax. It's going to travel with the twist. We're going to keep hold of the right shin with the left hand. We're going to extend the right arm out to the side, palm down, just like before. Take a big inhale. Then as you exhale, gently guide the right leg over towards the left. So your right sit bone, your right butt cheek is going to lift up off the floor. And then when you're in your twist, you're going to turn and look over that right shoulder. So this is a deeper twist now. Definitely 100%. More of a stretch into the lower back. You may feel this in your right glute as well, because it stretches into that area. And with this twist, we really aren't trying to get the right leg to the floor, okay? If you are, you've got a super flexible back. So that's not the purpose of this. The purpose is to relax. The purpose is to just release any tension that we may be holding. Taking a few more moments. Okay, and then inhale back to centre. Fab. Straighten the right leg down the mat, give your right leg a shake, and then we are going to change sides. So now the right leg's going to stay straight down the mat, and to begin with a little bit of effort in that leg to ground the right calf and to work the right toes back. We're going to take hold of the left shin or back of the thigh. Big inhale, then exhale, squeezing left thigh back towards the tummy. So beginning by stretching into the top of the left leg as well as the groin here. Shoulders broad, breath steady. And then keep your chin tucked in towards your chest so the back of the neck is long. Actually really important now I think about it. So sometimes, and this happens a lot, we hold a lot of tension in our neck and shoulders, right? And sometimes when people do this lying posture, any lying posture, for some reason the chin tilts upwards and almost like you're tilting the head back, kind of crunching into the neck. The jaw becomes very tight. So we want to just lengthen the back of the neck. So even in these lying postures, creating length from the crown of the head all the way down to the tailbone. Again, really important in shoulder stand to get the neck in the correct position. Alright, and then we're going to bring this into the twist. So now just let your right leg relax. It will travel with the twist. Keep hold of your left shin with the right hand. Extend your left arm out to the side, palm down. Big inhale, then as you exhale, guiding left leg over towards the right, left sit bone will lift. And then gently turning the head and looking over that left shoulder. Still keeping the shoulder grounded. Big old stretch. Lower back, left glute. You may feel this right at the top of the left leg as well. Starting to notice the differences between the sides. So we always have a tighter side, a stronger side. I say always. I suppose some people don't, but I'm pretty sure most people I've met have, including myself. So just noticing the differences really, it just helps us to move a bit more intelligently through our yoga practice and also through everyday life. Oh, me and the nuggets of wisdom today, like a proper yoga teacher. Alright, inhale back to centre, enough of that, enough of that. Take a cat stretch. Last one, point the toes down the mat, arms overhead, lengthen. Beautiful, and then hug your knees into your chest one last time, rock from side to side. So hopefully the lower back is feeling a little looser, a little bit more flexible, a little less tight. How many times can I find a phrase to say the same thing? Right, then from here we're going to pop ourselves up into seated, alright. So we're just going to quickly do a couple of neck stretches, just because we're in seated. Now if seated is super uncomfortable, you're going to have to sit on something, maybe a block, maybe a fat book, something like that. So come into a cross-leg position. If you're not doing anything with the hips today, but if the hips are tight, the knees are going to be high. That is when you may want to sit on something to raise the bum up. It's going to let the knees just drop slightly, a lot more comfortable. Otherwise, come into your comfortable cross-leg position. Just going to work the neck stretches. So we are going to place our left hand on our left knee, sitting up nice and tall as well. Always goes without saying in a seated posture. See if you can get the spine nice and long. Left hand to left knee. And then right hand is going to come to the side of the left side of the head. Yes, that's it. Inhale, and then as you exhale, very gently draw your right ear down towards your right shoulder. We are not pulling the head. We're just adding a bit of gentle pressure with the hand on the head here. Left ear drops. Already, don't know about you, I'm feeling a huge stretch left side of the neck. So it's quite intense really. We don't tend to stretch the neck all that often, consciously anyway. Holding it here. Now if you did want a deeper stretch, what you're going to do is you're going to take the left hand off the knee, you're going to crawl your left fingertips out towards the left, and then you're going to press down through the fingertips very gently. Just kind of lengthens the stretch, now travels into that left shoulder, maybe even down the top of the left arm. Few more moments here. Okay, and then inhale, release, very slowly, head back up to center. Beautiful. Changing sides. So now taking the right side of the head. Right hand on right knee, big inhale, then as you exhale, very gently, easing left ear down towards left shoulder. Huge stretch right side of neck. And then if you did want a little bit more, you can walk those right fingertips out to the right. You can press down through right fingertips. Starts to travel down that arm. Lovely, and then inhale back to center. Fab, one more. This time we're going to interlace the hands like this. We're going to take them behind the head. Now we're really going to see if we can round the back in this. So interlace your hands, place them behind the head. Inhale here, then as you exhale, we're going to drop the chin to the chest, round the back. The elbows squeeze in towards one another, and then gently, maybe easing the head down a little bit. So huge stretch back of the neck, all the way down the back. Lovely, and then inhale back to center. Fab, all right. Give your shoulders a shake, love a neck stretch. And then from here, come into all fours. Because would it be a yoga class with me if I didn't do a cat cow? I was thinking about getting some merch. Not that I think anyone would buy it, but I just want love a cat cow, because I say it pretty much every lesson, on a t-shirt. So if anyone knows any t-shirt printers, hit me up. Love a cat cow. So come into all fours, fingers spread underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, top of the feet on the floor, and here we go. As you inhale, from here we're going to lift the hips, lift the chest, look forward, little back bend, belly drops, and then exhale, round the back, arch the spine up towards the ceiling, chin to chest, press into the hands. Inhale, lifts hips, lifts chest, belly drops, little back bend. And then exhale, rounds. Really press into the hands and feel that stretch, upper back, shoulders, and then keep this rotation up. Cat cow, #1 posture ever. So good. So we're using it now to stretch into the back. Like I said, shoulder stand, we need the back to be working. The whole of the inhale lifts, and the whole of the exhale rounds. Your spine does not get to move like this very often, so feel that wave through the spine. It's just, I could just do this forever. I could just do a cat cow forever, every class. Okay, lovely, and then at the end of your next exhale, just stop doing that, come to a flat back and stay in your all four position, because we're going to come into a posture now called puppy pose. So we'll do this together, I'll just explain it, and if you get confused you can have a look at me. So the knees are underneath the hips are going to stay over the knees, okay? So we're going to see if we can keep waist backwards, very static. Keeping the hips over the knees, what we're going to do is we're going to crawl our hands forward. So really stretching the arms as far forward as you can without the hips moving. I like to take my hands as wide as the mat, and then big inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to sink the forehead down towards the floor. Maybe, if the back allows, if the shoulder allows, chin and chest. You do not have to get your forehead down on the floor, that's just the direction we're moving in. Okay, so arms are straight, forehead or chest sinks, hips are high, and then really feel that stretch, that opening in the shoulders. The upper back, huge back bend here actually as well. A few more moments. To deepen that stretch in the shoulders, what you're going to do is draw your armpits down towards the floor. Breath steady, doing a fabulous job. Okay, and then inhale, back up into all fours. And then we're going to come into child's pose. So feet and knees together today if possible. Get the bum and the heels as close together as possible. Then from there, we are going to lay the arms down, lay the body over the legs, forehead comes towards the floor again. If this isn't comfortable, you can stay upright. If for whatever reason, feet and knees together aren't working, feel free to separate the knees a little bit. You've got options here. Either way, just really seeing if we can relax down into this. And it's the bum coming close to the heels that creates the stretch in the lower back. If the lower back is tight, that's what we're really trying to counteract today, but if the lower back is tight, your bum may come away from the heels. You can't force it. You're just going to have to wait, unless you get someone to stand on your back, which I don't recommend. Lovely, and then inhale, just make your way back up into all fours. And then come into seated very, very quickly and have a little look at me, because we're going to come into rabbit pose. Rabbit pose is a fabulous posture, back, especially upper back and shoulders. It does require us having to start from that child's pose. So if you were separating the knees, you may find it a little bit more challenging. We really try and get the knees together for this one. So what we're going to do is, from child's pose, if you just watch me first, we're going to take the arms either side of the body. And we're going to take hold of our heels. Now, if you can't take hold of your heels, take your ankles, take your calves. Just try and get a grip somewhere up that leg. Over time, ankles is great. What we do from here is we draw the chin in towards the chest, and we draw the forehead to the knees. So again, big ask of the back, really seeing if we can round the back. The head is on the floor, so chin to chest, forehead to knees, head on the floor. And then we really want to pull on the heels as much as possible. As we inhale, see if we can lift the hips away from the heels, away from the feet, and then really pull on the ankles. And this is a very big stretch, okay? Every inhale, just seeing if we can lift a little bit higher. So we want to eventually be on the crown of the head, so we don't want to be on the forehead, we don't want to really be on the back of the head. So you may need to just shift the head position when you're down there. And if you can't lift the butt very high away from the feet, don't even worry about it, just do your best. So come into child's pose. Feet and knees together. Take the forehead towards the floor or to the floor, and then take hold of your own ankles or calves, or heels, preferably heels. I give so many options. I'm like, you just do what you want, just freestyle. So we've got hold of the heels, we're in child's pose, and then from here, before we do anything, let's draw our chin to our chest, let's draw our forehead to our knees and really get that round in the back, placing the head on the floor, and then as you inhale, do your best, just see if you can lift your bum away from the heels, and then pull on the feet. Woo! We got a big old stretch across the upper back, the shoulders, holding it here. Every inhale, seeing if we can lift the hips just a smidge higher. So arms are strong. And then exhale, lower. Lovely. Just relax here. Place the forehead back on the floor. Let the arms rest either side of the body. Let the shoulders melt down. Taking a few breaths. Okay, and then inhale, pop yourselves back up into all fours. For our first downward facing dog. So, fingers spread underneath the shoulders. Feet hip width apart and parallel. Tucking your toes, sending your hips up and back, and then trying to create a 90-degree angle with the body. Your legs can be bent. Your heels do not have to be on the floor. Get away from thinking that is what the posture needs to be. It doesn't. What we're trying to do is create a straight line from the hands, up the arms, up the spine, shooting out the back of the hips. Doesn't matter if your legs are bent. If the heels are down, great. If they're not, whatever. Just see if we can draw the thighs a little bit further towards the back of the room. Now, we haven't done all that much with the hamstrings today. So if you would like to take this time to pedal one heel towards the floor then the other, to stretch out the back of the legs, you are more than welcome to do that. Just make sure the head is heavy, so the head tilts back between the arms, no tension in the back of the neck. And if you are pedaling the legs, make this movement quite slow and controlled. Downward dog, I think our first inversion today. So the head is below the chest, head is below the heart. We are upside down. So this is an inversion. Downward dog is an inversion. We tend to just think of like headstands and handstands and all those sort of fancy things when we think about inversions, but this is one too. All right, a few more moments. Lovely. Then stop pedaling. Maybe see if you can draw the thighs a little bit further towards the back of the room. Maybe tilt the hips up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then from here we're going to come up to standing. So as you inhale, walk, step, jump, whatever, your feet between your hands, look forward. Then exhale, drop the head forward fold. Now from this forward fold, we're going to roll the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae. So here we go, head's going to be the last thing that lifts. So start to roll the spine up. Rolling, arms are relaxed, head is heavy, head's the last thing to lift. Going to come all the way up to standing. Alright, and then have a drink. It's drink time, made it to standing, give the body a shake. Lovely. So already, hopefully feeling the work we've done in the lower back, the work we've started to do in the shoulders. So we're going to keep on with that theme. So from now, I'm going to pick up the pace just a little bit. We're going to come through bunches of forward folds. We are going to do a couple of stand-in twist hamstring stretches. We want the hamstrings to be quite warm for our shoulder stand. And we are going to put a sun salutation between each posture. Now, sun salutation is fantastic for shoulder stand. It's a very intelligent sequence, Ashtanga. You think about all the back bends and forward folds you do. Nothing like it to release the tension from the back. I don't really want to say like the back is like a card that we're just like smishing around. That insinuates it'll eventually snap. It won't, it's fine. But yeah, it's just sun salutations are very good for the back. So to begin with though, we are just going to do the 2 Ashtanga forward folds. So if you want to stand with your feet hip width apart and parallel, take your hands to your hips, and just bear in mind in all forward folds, any style of yoga, you can bend the knees as much as you like. So from here, you're going to inhale, lift the chest, look up. And then exhale, you're going to dive forward. Now we're going to see if we can take the big toes, first 2 fingers and thumbs. Keep the thumbs off the mat, because if you fall, you'll hurt your thumbs. Bend in the knees as much as you need to. And then as you inhale, look forward, lengthen, almost like you're going to topple over. So trying to find some more room before you exhale, fold. All right, I just had breakfast. This is like the worst thing in the world. All right, doing a great job. So we're in our forward fold. Just let the head totally relax. And then if there's a bend in the elbows, take it out sideways. If this posture feels all hamstrings, you need to bend your knees a little bit more. We are stretching into the hamstrings, the calves obviously, but we want to see if we can start to feel that release in the lower back. So forward folds, just really good for tight lower backs, provided you don't actually have like a serious back injury, like a slipped disc or something like that. Also maybe feeling a little stretch in the back of the neck Slow, steady breathing, bringing the weight forward into the toes rather than sinking back too heavy in the hips. Lovely. And then from here, as you inhale, look forward. Now you can repeat that posture, fingertips around toes. If you have the room this time, you're going to slide your hands underneath the feet, toes up into wrists. Again, before we come into the fold, and this is the only time we lift the head, as you inhale, look forward, lengthen, and then exhale again, head drops, neck relaxes, forward fold. So if you're starting to work with your forward folds a little bit deeper, you are going to refine. So there's always a level of refinement in every posture. So what you're going to do is you're going to start to draw your shoulders up towards your waist. So the shoulders are not collapsing down by the ears. Very tricky because they want to fall down towards the floor. But starting to build that awareness, holding it here. Few more moments. So just like the knee to chest pose earlier, trying to close the gap between the belly and the thighs. It's more important to do that really than it is to get the legs dead straight. So the back remains not over rounding. It's hard to create sentences when you're upside down. Hey, we're in another inversion. All right, lovely. Then inhale, look forward, and then exhale, hands to hips, and then inhale, stand up, and then exhale, step your feet together at the front of your mat. So moving through a sun salutation now. So if you've never done one of these, don't worry, just roll with it. So legs together, you pick it up. Lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back, head slightly tilted forward. And then as you inhale, swooping the arms up, looking up. So palms together if possible. And then exhale, fold, hands to floor, drop the head. Bend the knees as much as you need to. You inhale, look forward, weight comes into the hands. And then exhale, step or jump back to plank. From plank, you lower down to a very low press up or the floor, elbows in. Inhale, pause through a back bend, chest forward. And then exhale, rolling over the toes, coming into downward dog. Not holding our dogs. So from here, as you inhale, you're going to step or jump the feet forward between the hands, look forward. Exhale, drop the head. And then inhale, swooping the arms up. So finishing how we started. And then exhale, arms by your side. Lovely. All right, well done. So from here, we're going to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, Trikonasana sounds kind of fancier, doesn't it? So legs together at the front of your mat. And then as you inhale, take a step out with your right foot. The left foot turns in 90 degrees to 45 degrees. The right foot turns out 90 degrees. All right, so the back foot is in, not out. Legs are going to stay straight as possible throughout this. And then line your right heel up, mid-left arch, take your arms wide. So we're trying to line the wrists up with the ankles, gives you an idea of the length of the posture. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, reach out to the right. Let your left hip float forward so you can reach down and either take hold of the right big toe first, 2 fingers and thumbs, or take hold of the right shin. Doesn't matter, and stay a little bit higher. And then from there, you're going to raise the left arm up and you're going to look up. Yes, triangle pose. So we're trying to create those lovely lines that we find in a triangle. A long line from the left hip all the way up the left side body, a line from the right arm all the way up the left arm, and then nice straight legs, so we've got the lines there. So it's a very angular posture. Stretching into the hamstrings, also the side body, but we're trying to roll that left hip down towards the left foot now, so feeling hopefully an opening around the top of the left leg. Few more breaths. So if you've got hold of the toe, pick up into the toe. If you're holding onto the shin, hold onto the shin. You're doing a fantastic job. Few more moments. And then exhale, look down. And then inhale all the way up. Now we're going to turn the right foot in, the left foot out 90 degrees. Take another inhale, then stretch out towards the left. Let that right hip float forward. As you reach down on the exhale, take hold of the big toe, first two fingers and thumbs, or the shin, and then raise the right arm, look up. Okay, so triangle can look different for everyone. But one thing we're trying to do is work the chest open so it faces the side of the room rather than facing the floor. So there's a real element of lightness in the upper body, reaching those right fingertips up towards the ceiling and drawing that right hip back and down towards the right foot. Okay, then exhale, look down, inhale up, and then exhale, step to the front of your mat. Lovely. Sun salutation, legs together. As you inhale, swoop the arms up, and then exhale, fold, hands to floor. Inhale, look forward, lengthen, and then exhale, step or jump back to plank and lower. Inhale, back bend, and then exhale, downward dog. Not holding our dog, so from here as you inhale, feet forward, look forward. Exhale, drop the head, and then inhale, swooping the arms up. And then exhale, arms by your side. I need to have a drink, so this is a good place to stop if you want to have a drink. Hay fever's getting me this year, which is funny because I'm indoors all the time, so. Dairy life, I get it really bad. I don't want to talk about my life problems with you, but makes you feel a bit bummed up. How are we doing for time? I got some time left. I feel like we're going to have to skip a couple of postures, so my time management's not great. I do want to do the 4 Ashtanga wide leg folds though. Inversions, great for the shoulders. Get used to being upside down in a very supported way, so legs together at the front of your mat. And then from here we're going to take a step out with the right foot. Alright, so this time feet are parallel. We don't want to be coming down into the splits. So a thing with this is that for some reason, I get it, I've been there. We all think at some stage or another that this posture is about taking your legs as wide as possible. It's not. You don't want to take your legs as wide as possible. You see people in this posture like that. It's ridiculous because that happens, and then you also collapse into the ankles. You want to be strong in the legs in this posture, which means you are taking your legs wide, but only so wide that you are feeling that energy drawing up the legs. You're feeling really supported. So turn your toes in ever so slightly. Helps protect the ankles, also stops you from slipping, and then take your hands to the hips. All right. Then as you inhale, just like the folds we've done before, lift the chest up, look up, and then exhale, fold forward. Now we're going to take the fingertips in line with the toes, so we want to try and get the hands on the floor. So I know I just spoke about going too wide, but maybe you've come too short. So if you cannot get the hands to the floor, maybe take the feet a bit wider, maybe bend the legs, that's okay, or you can actually place blocks underneath the hand or something like that to help. Then from here as you inhale, look forward, lengthen, and then exhale, fold. Crown of the head drops down towards the floor. The elbows bend backwards. In Ashtanga, the fingertips face forwards. The hands are on the floor. The fingertips face forwards. The fingertips are not facing backwards. The arms are not straight backwards. The elbows are bent. I don't want to sound like I'm having a go, but that's what we're doing with the hands. All right. Now, from here, if you feel like you have a bit more in you, you can walk the hands further back between the feet. And then you can use the hands on the floor to pull the body a little bit closer towards the legs. We are trying to keep the elbows over the wrists and the elbows in line with the shoulders, so coming back to that 90-degree angle with the arms. Your forehead, your crown of your head rather, does not have to be down, but that is the direction we are going in. And then holding it here. Oh, I got stripped then. All right, feeling that lovely release in the lower back, also that very intense stretch, hamstrings, groin. Okay, and then as you inhale, look forward. Exhale, hands to hips. Now hover here with the strength of the legs. You inhale, push yourself up. Woof. And then exhale, pause. Lovely. Inhale, take your arms wide. And then exhale, take your hands to your hips. This time the hands are going to stay on the hips, so it's slightly more challenging. So inhale, lift the chest up. And then exhale, dive forward, hands stay on hips. Crown of the head lowers. Okay, and then holding it here. So in this posture, imagine I have my fingertips on your elbows and I'm asking you to press into my fingertips. So we are trying to broaden across the shoulders, the upper back. Nice, slow, steady rhythm to the breath. And then it's quite revealing sometimes how much the hands on the floor help. So you may find that you can't fold as far without that additional support. But just do your best. Lovely, and then as you inhale all the way up to standing, and then exhale, pause here. So inhale, arms wide. 2 more. Then exhale, interlace your hands behind the back this time. Really work the shoulders together. Then inhale, chest lifts. And then exhale, you fold in forward. Come into your fold, and then once you're down as far as you're going to come, you can start to lift those arms away from the lower back. So hands are laced, fingers are laced, hands come over the head. Hips are high, working into the shoulders, working across the chest. Lovely. And then inhale, back up. And then exhale, hands straight to hips this time. Got too much hair. Last time. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, fold halfway. This time, let's see if we can take hold of the big 2 fingers. Big toes, first 2 fingers and thumbs. Keep the thumbs off the mat. Inhale, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, fold. Crown of the head drops. And this time you can use the fingers around the toes to pull the body closer. But again, focusing on the 90-degree angle with the arms. We've got the shoulders drawing back up towards the waist. We have the wrists over the feet. We have the elbows over the wrists. We have the elbows in line with the shoulders. Holding it here. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, hands to waist. Hover here for a moment, then strengthen the legs, picks you up on the inhale. And then exhale, 1 step to the front of your mat. I would like that on a t-shirt as well. Love a cat-cow and 1 step. Right, so I think we're ready to give this a go. Feel like we can do this. So sun salutation down to seated. Let's do it. Legs together. Lift the shoulders, allow them to fall back, head slightly tilted forward. Then as you inhale, swooping the arms up, looking up. Then exhale, fold. Exhale, fold. I've done a really, I'm so sorry, really sort of extra flick, like magician flick with my hands then, feeling really extra today. We're in our folds. Exhale, fold, hand to floor. Good. Inhale, look forward, lengthen. And then exhale, step or jump back and lower. Doing a fab job. Inhale, pull through a back bend, hips to wrists. And then exhale, downward dog. All right, holding it here. Maybe give the legs a little pedal. Okay, and then from dog, you're going to make your way into seated. So if you're practicing your jump throughs, now's your chance, now's your time to shine. If not, just come step down, make your way onto your butts. Lovely. I can't get over that. I went inhale with the arms. I was like, inhale. Right. Shoulder stand. Here we go. I'm gonna just go through some stuff with you. So if you want to get a drink and you want to sit down and watch me, that's what we're going to be doing. Story time. So with shoulder stand, you start from a lying position, okay? Option number 1, hands either side of the body, palms down, both legs up, hold it here. This is option number 1. Now, this is a good place to stay to practice on lifting both legs up vertically towards the ceiling. So if you are here, you are in a version of shoulder stand, okay? There's no need to like force it. If you're staying here today, you're staying here today. Not a problem. Now, number 1 problem that happens to try and get into shoulder stand is people cannot lift the butts off the floor. Now, a couple of reasons. It could be that the lower back is still tight. So if the lower back is tight, you're going to find it really hard to round the back as much as you need to get the legs up. We just work the lower back. We just need to do a bit more prep, okay? Not a problem. Stay here. You need to also give it a little bit of welly. So you actually do need to sort of kick up a little bit. And then as soon as you feel the bum lift, you have to roll the shoulders under and see if you can grab hold of your lower back, okay? So you need to get that support there really as quick as possible. So I'll show you. Legs straight, toes point, arms either side of the body, palms down. You press into the arms, you inhale, you give it a bit of welly, you come up, straight away, hands to back. Then you wiggle the shoulders under and you can straighten the legs, all right? Now, eventually maybe taking the hands a little bit higher, hold him, sort of near the bottom of the ribs. If that isn't comfortable, release. You can hold your butt instead. Not a problem. We're just playing around here. Very important to get the elbows as close together as possible, to roll the shoulders under as much as possible, so then you aren't taking the pressure anywhere in the neck, okay? So when you come up into shoulder stand, you want to have a wiggle. So wiggle the shoulders under, elbows come close together, hands for support, straighten the legs. My neck is not on the floor. No part of my neck is on the floor. I should be able to come around and place my hand under every single one of your necks and feel a gap, all right? This is a shoulder stand, not a neck stand. The weight is in my shoulders, the weight is in the back of my forearms, and I'm gently pressing the back of my head into the floor so the neck comes off the floor. I point the toes, I breathe. So once we're in shoulder stand, all right, holding it here, we're going to see if we can come into plow, halasana. Do not do this if you have a really bad back. So you stay here or you come out. You can come out of this posture whenever you want. Otherwise, the next step, you inhale. And then as you exhale, you very slowly, with control, lower the tops of the feet down. Now you may stay here. If the feet do not touch the floor, you keep your hands on your back to support yourself. If the feet do touch the floor and you feel comfortable, then you interlace the hands behind the back. You straighten the arms down the mat. The back of my neck is not on the floor, all right? Holding it here. Now, the next stage, if you've come down this far, is to come into Kanapidasana, ear pressure pose, I think. You drop the knees either side of your ears, you gently squeeze the side of the head with the legs. Your feet are together. Eventually, I'm not doing it here, but eventually we aim to get the shins on the floor. So holding it here to come out, hands come to back, you inhale back up into shoulder stand, and then you exhale, very gently roll out, hug your knees in towards your chest. Lesson time over. All right, so we're gonna give this a go. You come out of it whenever you want. Okay, if you don't want to hold it for as long as we're holding it, if you're not used to holding it for a very long time, you come out of it as soon as you want. This is a shoulder stand, not a neck stand. Any discomfort in the neck, you come out of it. Let's do it. All right. Remember your option number 1, legs just straight up towards the ceiling. So come down onto your backs, arms either side of the body. This is the first hurdle. This is the hardest bit. Point the toes. Inhale, a little bit of welly, press into the hands, pick up. Hands immediately come to back, either to bum if you want to make it slightly easier, or to the bottom of the ribs if you want to make it a little bit more challenging. Straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. Wiggle your elbows as close together as you can get them. Then take the weight back so it's falling into the back of the forearms. You are on your shoulders, you are not on your neck. Gently press the back of the head into the floor to lift the neck up off the floor, and then holding it here. Trying to make the legs as vertical as possible, legs are strong. For 5, deep breaths. 4, we hold this anywhere up to 20 breaths in Ashtanga, but maybe just 3, maybe 5 today. 2, keep pressing the back of the forearms into the floor. And 1, lovely. Holding it here, coming out, or as you exhale very slowly, lowering the tops of the feet down to the floor. Keep your hands on the lower back if the tops of the feet do not hit the floor. If the tops of the feet hit the floor, you can interlace your hands behind your back. You are trying to rock up onto your shoulders. The back of the neck is not on the floor. Legs together. Trying to keep the hips over the shoulders. Your neck has room to breathe for 5. Big ask of the lower back. Do your best. 4, you're doing a fabulous job. This is a hard posture. 3, 2, and 1. Staying here, carefully coming out. Practicing your shoulder stand or dropping the knees either side of the head. Gently hugging the ears with the knees, feet together. Arms are still interlaced if you're in this position. Kanapidasana for 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is called ear pressure pose. I think I made that up. 4 and 5. Lovely. To come out the posture, take your hands to your lower back. You inhale, come up to shoulder stand, straighten the legs, and then you exhale, can roll out very, 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 very carefully. And then once you've rolled out, hug your knees into your chest, rock from side to side, and make some circles here. Okay, so wherever you got with that, honestly, is perfect. It's a tricky posture. There's a couple of more additions to it that we'll explore another day. But for now, just rock the lower back out. Okay, and then inhale, just very slowly make your way up to seated. I just want to finish with a very sort of restorative forward fold. So with this forward fold, you can bend the knees as much as you need to. You don't have to have the legs straight. And then we can round the back as much as we want in this. This is not going full throttle. So legs out in front of you, toes gently pull back, knees can be bent. You inhale, lift up, and you exhale, just fold forward. Now, fold forward as much as is comfortable, let the head relax, the back can round. Okay, lovely, and then inhale back up to centre, and then exhale, just lie down. Just lie down on the floor. All right, come onto your backs. Maybe give your legs a shake. You can take a couple of little twists here, just like we done to begin with, if that feels good for your back. That might be quite nice as well after that shoulder stand. So you can do a couple of twists, you can do a cat stretch. But whenever you've done your little movements, now you come and lie flat on the floor, knees bent or legs straight, arms a little way away from the body, palms up, and then just have a breather. So we finish how we started, we finish with Shavasana, corpse pose, and it's a chance for the breath to come back to normal, it's a chance for the body to digest all the postures we've done, and we've done big old postures for the lower back today, and quite a lot of work into the shoulders. So everything's just totally relaxed, heavy into the floor. Okay, you are more than welcome to stay here. I recommend you staying here for maybe a couple more minutes, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to call it a day now. So once you're ready to come out, take a cat stretch. You can hug your knees into your chests one last time. And you just make your way up to seated when you're ready to come out. So I'm gonna log off now. Enjoy your Shavasana if you're still staying in it. Thank you for joining me. Shoulder stand's a tricky one, but I'm sure you all done fabulously. And even if you didn't come up into the full variation today, you know, with practice, it may happen, it may not. That's the beauty of yoga. But all the prep we done is really good for your lower back. So all these forward folds, all these twists, really good. Keep doing them, especially if you're getting a really, really stiff back from sitting a lot recently. And I will see you next time. All right. Thank you and have a lovely rest of your day.